And I do sometimes struggle with sleeping as well. Just occasionally I have the odd bout of insomnia, and I thought maybe I'll buy a CD and get these CDs currently that have got soothing sounds and music on. I thought maybe I'll get one of those that might help us drift off to sleep. I noticed Paul McKenna has got a CD out, hasn't he? I Can Make You Sleep. He's a very confident man, Paul McKenna, isn't he? It's not, I'll give it a bash. I Can Make You Sleep. He's also got I Can Make You Thin, which I had thought about getting because it sounded like a challenge for him. I can make you thin. Can you, Paul? Bring it on, motherfucker. But he's also got I Can Make You Rich, and I thought, I wonder if that's his happiness box set. Thin, rich, sleep, done. When I first started going out with my boyfriend, I was living in a flat where the boiler was broken and it was freezing, and he sent me a text, and the text said, if I was there, I would make you warm, I would make you come, and I would make you breakfast. And I thought, now that's a fucking box set, isn't it? I'm not suggesting that should be Paul McKenna's next box set. I can make you come. Can you, Paul? Oh, fuck, he just said he's good. I thought I was giving up smoking. Bothered with aromatherapy in the past because I have actual therapy. You don't need aroma something if you're having the real fucking thing. If I fancy something sweet, I don't have an aroma Twix, do I? No. If I'm tired but I can't sleep, I don't have an aroma wank, do I? No. I bought myself some aromatherapy balms. If you don't know what they are, you just put them on your pulse points. They're supposed to make you feel nice. And the four that I bought all had names. They were called Sleepy Time, like I'm 5. Calm Down, all right. Wake Up, make your fucking mind up, and Headache, a bit more medical. And they all smell of things you'd expect them to smell of: lavender, chamomile, that sort of thing. I thought it'd be interesting to get my husband to smell them, to tell me what he thought they smelt of. To be fair, I did once ask him to smell my vagina candle, and he said it smelled of beef and cheese, and he got it right first time. Of Sleepy Time, Calm Down, Wake Up, Headache, he said they smelled of creosote, grass, nothing, and an old shop. He's got no fucking clue. I don't know why we bother with these things, though, because we've got lavender in the garden. So what I do now before I go to bed, I just nip out into the garden in my nightie and I inhale a bush. And then I get in the house and my husband does the same. Beef and cheese. Let me tell you a story now. If I may. Most comedians finish work at sort of 10:30, 11, and invariably will drive home wherever possible. So getting in at maybe 12 or 1 or 2. Me personally, when I get home, in order to get the adrenaline out of my system so I can sleep at all, I will do one of two things. I'm not a drinker, so I'll either have a bath or I'll watch a bit of telly. And normally one of those two things will work. Every now and again, though, they don't work and I can't sleep at all. It's rare, I'm lucky like that, but it does happen. The last time it happened to any degree was February last year. I got in from work, I did the usual things, no success. I did the worst thing you can possibly do when you can't sleep, which is go on the internet, because it properly wakes you up, doesn't it? But I'd sort of abandoned the idea of sleep, and I was happily clicking from website to website. Now, 2:30 is a normal time for me to go to bed. When it starts to get to 3:30, I start to feel tired, and I suppose just a bit lonely, I suppose, and a little bit like I'm the only person awake in the world. And I know that my tired brain does things that my rested brain would never allow. Now, if we go back to the beginning of the story, I mentioned that I got divorced. I got married the first time at 22 and divorced at 29. I suppose getting married at 22 is quite young, but I was very much swept off my feet. I think the main reason I said yes to going out with him in the first place was the fact that he wrote me a poem. Nobody had written me a poem before. Nobody has written me a poem since. I don't really know much about poetry, but I know that this was just lovely. He'd handwritten it. He gave it to me on a sheet of paper, and I read it, and I just fell. I remember folding it really small, and I put it in my purse. And every time I had like a shitty day at work, I'd get on the bus to go home, and I'd get my poem out, and I'd read it to myself. And I'd think, somebody feels this way about me, to have written this about me. I'm not having a shitty day anymore. Now, a little after 5 years, I lost it. To this day, I have no idea where it went, and I was distraught. It meant so much to me. But after a while, after I'd calmed down, I thought, I wonder if I've memorised it from all of those times of reading it to myself. So I got a sheet of paper and a pen, and sure enough, it all came out. And I folded it up small, and I put it back in my purse where it belonged. Now, if we scoot ahead to February last year, it's 3:30 a.m. I'm tired, and I'm on the internet. And I just thought, we've been divorced 9 years. That was a lovely poem. I bet he's given it to somebody else. I bet it's on a blog. I bet some skinny 22-year-old fucking bitch has got it as a Facebook status. So I picked a line from it, and I Googled it. And there were 305,000 examples of the poem. It wasn't my poem. It wasn't his poem. It was written by Samuel Coleridge. No wonder it was fucking good. But you know, we don't live together. We have a few days a week together and a few days a week apart. And when we're apart and I get to sleep in my own bed on my own, I fucking love it. Starfish! I love it. So we all have our partners, but when you're trying to get to sleep, they all do niggly things, don't they? Like breathing. 30 years together, is there anything about each other when you're trying to get to sleep that's irritating? He snores, does he snore? Gives a chill to people who think that they're a snorer? Well, the people who know they're sitting beside a snorer? There's a bit of denial in the room tonight. My boyfriend snores, and I found out recently that my dad also snores, because I was whinging to my mum about my boyfriend snoring, and she said, have you tried these? And then slid something across the kitchen bench like it was drugs. Try these. And what they were those nasal strips. I don't know if you've seen them. They're little strips that go across the bridge of the snorer's nose so that they open the nostrils out so that they can breathe more clearly, and in theory they don't snore anymore. Now, they worked for us for a while until it came to Christmas. Now, something you need to know about me is that I really love Brussels sprouts. My boyfriend doesn't like Brussels sprouts. So at Christmas we get a big bag of Brussels sprouts and I eat the lot. And I don't mind telling you, I'm pretty fucking toxic. So just before we went to bed on Christmas night, my boyfriend went, do you mind if I don't put the strip on tonight? I don't want my nostrils to be any bigger than they have to be. Another thing he does, he puts his arm across us, and I quite like that, because I feel quite sort of safe and protected, I suppose. But then sometimes he puts his leg across, and I think, oh, now you're taking the fucking piss. The last time I did it, he put his foot, remember, I described it not that long ago. He put his foot on my leg, and he rubbed it up and down. And I went, what are you doing? And he went, I'm being tender. I said, no, love, you're exfoliating. The phase you go through when you get divorced or you end a relationship, there's a phase you go through where you can't sleep. And what you do, this is a tip if anybody's getting there or they're about to dump somebody significant, maybe who's sitting beside them tonight, what a great day. It's a tip, if you can't sleep, what you do is you have a big cry, you have a wank, you have a magnum, you go back to bed, sleep like a baby. Choose to keep the wank and the magnum separate, but it's up to you. I don't know. It's up to you. Well, congratulations and have a great day on your absolute day. Round of applause for the fantastic lady. Are you an eager beaver or a late bloomer? If you're a late bloomer like me, then my new show is just for you. Late Bloomer is available now to stream and download from my website, sarahmillican.co.uk.